to introduce everybody. And the one thing, we've been doing these concerts for about 3 years now all around the world. And the one thing that has always been the same for me is I've always had one gentleman by my side, an artist who is a singer, songwriter. He's written short stories. He started his own theater company in Nashville, Tennessee. He's a political activist, speaks his mind, and he is my captain. Please welcome Steve Earle. We've been working with a certain revolving repertory of singers-songwriters, but we have some new faces to this particular venue, but they're not going to be new to you. I really can't believe I'm getting to introduce this next person. I'm probably a singer today because of the work of this woman. I remember sitting alone in my room struggling over a folk guitar chord book, and my fingers bleeding trying to make an F chord just so I could learn to sing every song that she had recorded. And she is the queen. She will always be the queen, and her name is Joan Baez. I was visiting my daughter out in Los Angeles where she was going to college, and she always was the one who knew what was hip, cool, and groovy, and she said, "Mom, you're coming with me tonight down to the Earle Theater to see this performer." And I'm so glad that she did, because after that show at the Earle, I was a fan for life. He's a real troubadour in every sense of the word. Please welcome Billy Bragg. Most definitive voices in pop music. She's been making quality music for so many years, and I'm so proud that we got to be friends and get to actually hang out together. And we've been talking about her doing these shows for a long time, just trying to work out her schedule. And at last, she's going to be with us tonight. Backed by Adam Seymour, please welcome Chrissie Hynde. We don't have a lot of videos and smoke and all that stuff. All we're going to do tonight is sing. Sit and sing. And being the hostess, I get to start something. Back by Steve. Me and my best friend Lillian in a blue chick cow doggy, sitting on the front porch, cooling in the shade, singing every song the radio played, waiting for the Alabama sun to go down to a red dirt girls in a red dirt town. Me and Lillian, just across the line in a little southeast of Meridian. Loved her brother, I remember back when he was fixing up a 49, and he told her little sister gonna ride the wind up around the moon and back. Never got far in Vietnam, I was standing there with each other to come to the end. red dirt town. Wanna make a joyful sound. She grew up tall and she grew up thin. Carry that old dog in by a green myrtle bush at the back of the inn. Daddy turned mean and her mama leaned hard. Got in roll with a boy from town. Figured that he might as well settle down, so she dug right in. Across the red dirt line, just a little southeast of Marin. Yeah, well, she tried hard to love him, but it never did take. It was just another way for the heart to break, so she learned to bend. Oh, but one thing they don't tell you about the blues when you got 'em, you keep on falling, 'cause there ain't no bottom and there ain't no end. At least not for the wind. Nobody knows when she started her skate. She was only 27 and she had 5 kids. Could have been the whiskey, could have been the pills, could have been the dream she was trying to live. But there won't be a mention in the news of the world on the bottom of a red dirt girl named Lillian. We never got any further across the line than Maria. Now the stars still fall in Alabama. Tonight she finally laid that hammer down without a sound in the red dirt ground. Ah, ah, ah.
Great job, backshot photograph, really better when the lights come on, isn't it?
How are you? The great mandolin player Ronnie McCoury gave me a book by the great American revisionist historian Stephen Ambrose called Undaunted Courage. It's about the Lewis and Clark expedition, which we were taught in school back home. It's very important. It's the Lewis and Clark expedition was basically about Thomas Jefferson sending a couple of army officers out to map some real estate that he'd recently acquired from France. The only problem was nobody ever told the people that had been living there for thousands of years that it ever belonged to France in the first place. So it was news to them. They were supposed to find out if there was a route by water from the Missouri River to the west coast of the United States, what is now the United States, and which there wasn't. And while they were out there to see what kind of Indians there were to fuck over, which there were plenty, so it wasn't a complete and total failure. This song has absolutely nothing to do with any of that. Possibly in the sense that, you know, then as now, manifest destiny might be the ultimate bullshit revisionist principle. To the mountain, see what he can see. We'll come down talking about a burning bush. She said this is how it's gonna be. Get scared to death, you know the rest. We'll almost
Falls and looking for Wendy, but America will do. Shedding to the west, you know the rest. Well, Travis never told him that Texas is in Mexico. It's a bloody man, and you know the rest. Robert Johnson went to the crossroads, a guitar in his hand. But the devil had him a guitar too. He said, "This is what you need, man. You could be the best, and you know the rest." This song ain't got no reason. This song barely rhymes. Well, it come to me when I was asleep, and it wakes me up sometimes. Can't get no rest. You know the rest.
I'm going to do a Steve Earle song, sort of a mild-mannered Steve Earle song. It's going to play it with me. It's called Christmas in Washington. Christmas time in Washington, the Democrats rehearse, getting into gear sold my soul for wheels that roll. Now I'm stuck here in this town. And come back, oh worthy Guthrie, and come back to us now. Tear your eyes from paradise and rise again somehow. And if you run into Jesus, maybe he can help us out. Come back, worthy Guthrie, to us now. There's foxes in the hen house now, and cows out in the corn. The unions have been busted, their proud banners torn. If you listen to the radio, you think that all was well. But you and me, the system of, we're going straight to hell. So come back here, oh Goldman, and rise up, old Joe Hill. The barricades are going up, they cannot break our will. And come back to us, Malcolm X and Martin Luther King, marching into Selma as the bells of freedom ring. Come back, oh worthy Guthrie, and come back to us now. Tear your eyes from paradise and rise again somehow.
I guess I have to be the guy to play Woody Guthrie something if you're going to pull that one on with it, Joan. I was thinking of something else, but as I was listening to that beautiful song, I could hear the little guy whispering in my ear, come on, Bragg. You wrote all those music for those lyrics, I think I might as well play one.
1,000 books could I write you about her? 'Cause I felt if I could know her, I would know all women. And they've not been any too well known for brains and planning and organized thinking, but I'm sure the women are equal and they may be ahead of the men. Yeah. Guess I wouldn't spread such a rumor around. As one organizes the other, and sometimes the most lost and wasted attract the most balanced and sane. And the wild and the reckless take up the clock and the times, and the mixture is all of us, and we're still mixing it. But never, 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 never could have it been done if the women hadn't entered into the deal like she came along to me. And all creeds and kinds and colors of us are blending, till I suppose 10 million years from now we'll all be just alike. Same color, same size, and working together.
Maybe we'll have all of the fascists out the way by then. So, never, 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 never could have it been done. The women hadn't entered into the deal like she came along to me. Never could have it been done. Women had entered into the deal like she came along to me.
It's great to be here with these dangerous and subversive songwriters tonight. This song is about a guy who lives outside the law, and who, he's a renegade that lives by his principles. And he's a guy like Steve, Billy, a guy who has the spirit of the biker.
Biker, they tell me you're the dangerous lover. That might be true, oh, but I'd never ride with another. Maybe they'd never have their arms around anything so wild and free. You bring the biker out in me. Understand it, why people give you grief. You play the one-armed bandit like an outlaw with no belief. To them it's not known for a man to conform to a godless society. You bring the biker out in me. You bring the biker out in me. Because you've no interest in the struggle to obtain the status and bogus desires that drive most people insane. You who have nothing have something that only the 1% could ever see. Bring the biker out in me. bring the biker out in me.
We've done a lot of these Landmine concerts, but this is our first outdoor show. We're hitting the big time now. I'm so glad that we're able to do it here in this beautiful city, and we've got such a fantastic night for it too. And so somebody's looking out for us. In the wings of some desire abandoned.
basically designed to scare the living shit out of you. And the reason it should scare you is because it's about us.
Long time ago, for the ice and the snow, there are giants that walked this land. With each step that took the mighty mountains shook and the trees took a knee and the sea rolled in. Then one day they say that the sky gave way and death rained down and made a terrible sound. There's fire everywhere. Nothing is spared that walked on the land or flew through the air. When it all was over, the slate wiped clean with a touch. All there God stood and the saw was good, and he said, ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. And the sea gave birth and it crawled up on the dirt, stood up and took a look around. Said, I'm the next big thing, and the gift that I bring comes directly from God, so ain't no holding me down. In a crown himself, king, no one remembers his name, but to see that soul took to show on the road. There's blood on their hands, there's a plague on this land. They drew a line in the sand, made the last stand and said, God made us in his image. It's in God that we trust. And when asked about the men that had died by the hands, it just said ashes to ashes and dust to dust. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Lives forever. Nothing stands the test of time. You heard him say never, but it's always best to keep it in mind that every tower ever built tumbles. No matter how strong, no matter how tall, someday even great walls will crumble. Every idol ever raised falls. Someday even man's best laid plans are like twisted, covered in rust. We've done all that we can to slip through our hands. Now it's ashes to ashes and dust to dust.
Just kind of get into a song like that. Thanks for asking me to be on this little dude. It's wonderful. And it's wonderful to be in Edinburgh. Turns out my mother was born here. And as I was leaving home, she said, you know, honey, there's a church where Daddy, meaning my grandfather, used to preach. It's at the end of Princess Street. Maybe you could look it up. So I was picturing some humble little thing tucked away. And I called her, I said, Mom? Is it called St. Paul's? Oh, yes. So, so I asked her to go and look up all the goods on her father, and yeah, quite impressive. Very impressive. In fact, Chrissie and I went out today. She bought a camera, you know, one of those that you eat when you're through with it. And she took all these pictures of me at my granddad's church. Thank you. So it got me in that sort of Scottish thing. So I'll sing you one of those Scottish ballads. Kitchen door, and word is to the hall, and word is up to Madam the Queen, and that's the worst of all.
It's a great gig to do this kind of thing, because it's to sit and listen to these great songs. It's a real privilege to take part in this. And the only other thing that's anything like this is that in North American folk festivals, particularly Canadian folk festivals, they have workshops where they put musicians together. But the trouble with them is that you have to, the workshop has a title, and the songs you sing have to have something to do with the title of the song. I usually get roped into pop and politics, or folk music and politics ones generally, but I was doing one at the Vancouver Folk Festival the other day called Things We Nicked Off Bob Dylan, and it was a 48-hour workshop. They were doing it at the back of the stage. I mentioned that because at the time Dylan was being castigated in the Canadian papers anyway for stealing a couple of lines out of some Japanese novel. I mean, the cheek of it. You think of all the stuff we've nicked off him. But anyone should castigate him for borrowing off of somebody else. I've stolen so much from ideas, for phrasing, lyrics. I draw the line at the Vincent Price moustache, but hey, that's his deal. And during the recent unpleasantness in Iraq, I was drawn again to songs from back. In fact, I was in a listening post in a record shop in New York City, and there was a version of you and he actually singing this song, and I was drawn to the post. I stood there listening to it. It was a live version of this song, and I thought, gee, it's really someone should be singing this song again. So I went back home and I looked at the lyrics, and I thought, oh, maybe I'll just nick some of the lyrics and write my own song around it. So, with absolutely no apologies, you'll recognise the first couple of lines of this jam. It's called The Wolf Covers His Tracks. Oh, my name, it ain't nothing. My age, it means less. I'm far from my home, flying over the Midwest. And as I look down on some far city lights, I ask God to watch over my family tonight. I'm tired of hearing God's on the side of suicide bombers and jet planes that fly, that drop bombs on civilians to even the school. Where's the God of the children and the rubble of war? I believe the self-martyr at least have a choice. And the vengeful warmongers have the loudest voice, when the innocent victims have no place to hide. When death comes without warning, with God on its side. Bird sings an eye for eye, and echoes the words the wolf howls
justify their tax. The butcher bird smiles, the wolf covers its tracks.
This is a song that was written by Brown Parsons. And Emmy's going to sing with me. I should say I'm going to sing with Emmy.
Well, whatever. This was a few years ago. I was asked to kind of oversee a Graham Parsons tribute record, and I said, "Well, I don't like tribute records. I don't know." And I decided, well, at least in the United States, nobody really knew who he was, so I figured it was more of an introduction to him. But the first phone call I made to the first artist was Chrissie, who said yes. She said, "But we got to sing something together." So,
And I'd like to actually do this one for St. John here, because
yes.
I think when we went to the Episcopal Church today, her father, who surely inspired the good people of Edinburgh a few years back, and she's still there. It was no surprise to me at all that there was a political agenda outside of the church as I was taking pictures of her. Anyway, so, Emmy, let's do it. This is for you, John.
She came from the land of the cotton, a land that was nearly forgotten by everyone. And she worked and she slaved so hard. A big old field was her backyard in the winter sun. Oh, she sure could sing. Oh, she sure could sing. They looked down and they took a little peek. Oh, John's full. He decided he'd help the son. He didn't mind if she wasn't very pretty. Even besides her, she was the only. Oh, she sure could sing. Oh, she sure could sing. She had faith, she had believing. She led all the people together and singing. She prayed every night to the Lord up above, singing. Hallelujah. Walk singing songs by the river, even when she knew for sure she had to go away. She never knew what her life was to give her, never had to worry about it for one single thing. She sure could sing. She sure could sing. Yeah, she sure could sing. Oh,
great music and such a good time, but I do want to remind you of the reason that we are here. We're here to raise money and awareness for a terrible problem in the world, a problem of landmines. And the person that is really responsible for bringing us here tonight is here tonight, and he can speak more eloquently on the subject than any other. He was a soldier in Vietnam, an officer in Vietnam, took a bullet that left him paralyzed, but it didn't paralyze his heart or his will or his determination to help the victims of war during the whole rest of his life. And that is what he has done so tirelessly and has inspired us all to come together and do these shows so that we can try to help eliminate this problem from the face of the earth. He is certainly my hero, and it gives me a lot of pleasure to introduce you to him. His name is Bobby Muller.
There's a lot of injustice out there. There's a lot of needs out there. And basically every one of them get attached to some kind of an organization to draw attention to them. In the United States alone, we have over 1 million nonprofit organizations. That's a lot of righteousness. It also makes it very difficult for each and every one of us to try and get the word out there about what it is that we're trying to focus attention on and to raise support to address those needs. And I will tell you, in all the years that we've been doing this work, nothing has allowed us to do that like these concerts. These artists have really made this campaign. Not only have they gone out there and spoken to the cause, they've dedicated all of their services. So every dollar that you gave tonight go to support the commitments we have to these programs around the world. So for Emmy and for all these ambassadors of justice up here again, I want to say really thank you. The campaign for LandmineFree World has been going on for 13 years. We've evolved from a fairly modest set of beginnings, and we're operating in countries all over the world in rehabilitation programs and helping clear up contaminated lands. But the origins of this work really goes back to what Emmy just mentioned, the Vietnam War. In that war, we in the United States dropped over 2.5 times the total tonnage of bombs dropped in the entirety of the Second World War, in both the European theater and the Pacific theaters combined. There was an overwhelming amount of ordnance that was dropped on the country of Vietnam. Before I got shot, I got blown away by a landmine. Landmines and booby traps were the single leading cause of casualties for U.S. soldiers in that war. But it was nothing compared to the experience in neighboring Cambodia that got sucked in as a result of our war. And this really did come out of the killing fields of Cambodia. Because Cambodia, in its civil war, is really more representative of what we've seen in the world in the last 30 years. It's poor countries, and landmines is the poor man's weapon. When we started our work in Cambodia, you could actually buy landmines in the central marketplace in Phnom Penh for 50 cents. Maybe that helps explain why there were more landmines in the ground in Cambodia than there were people. Back in the early 90s, actually in 1991, there were over 500 new landmine casualties every single month in that country. And we set up a clinic to try and address the needs of some of these people, and we found the additional tragedy that the overwhelming majority of these people were not soldiers, and they were not combat casualties. They were innocent civilians after the conflict ended that wound up continuing to be casualties to these hidden killers. We found out that it was the farmers that were out there trying to recapture the land for agricultural purposes. We found that it was the children that were taking animals to graze out in the pastures or just playing along the paths along their homes. Or the leading cause several years ago was women that went out into the forest to gather firewood to sell in the marketplace. Going into the forest to gather the firewood, even knowing that there were landmines in the area, but nonetheless driven by the economic necessity to get that 50 cents worth of sales in the marketplace, to go out there and risk their lives. You could say there's an awful lot of weapons in war, and war is terrible, but why landmines? Why do you pick that particular weapon? And there's a couple of reasons. Basically, every other weapon that we use when we go to war has some command element to it, some control element. You point a rifle, you target artillery pieces, you control where you unleash the violence. Landmines are different in that you simply arm them and you hide them by burying them in the ground. And there's no command, there's no control. It's totally indiscriminate, and that's why the overwhelming majority of the casualties wind up being the innocent people. The other thing that makes them different is that after a conflict, we put all the weapons back in the armories. All the artillery pieces, the tanks, the jets, the rifles. The only thing that stays out there is the one thing that doesn't have an off switch and doesn't realize that a peace agreement might have been realized, but that the fighting, for whatever reason, is over. Landmines don't have off switches, and they stay out there sometimes for upwards of 40, 50 years, doing exactly what it is that they were designed to do. And let me bring that third real mark of distinction in on this weapon, which is the design factor. Landmines are specifically designed not to kill you. They are designed to maim you and cripple you. And as Emmy said, I took a bullet through the chest. I spent a year in a hospital. I was in intensive care. And I will tell you, nobody screamed louder than those guys that were traumatically amputated because of landmines when they changed dressing. One of the guys that I work with, a bilateral amputee from Vietnam, has had 18 operations to continually address the recurring injury of the landmine. It is an injury that has, in many cases, a life of pain and suffering attached to it. But the idea of not killing you is twofold. One, it becomes a logistical burden for the rest of the troops around you if you're lying there in the minefield. They got to stop and get you out of the minefield. Then they have the burden of medevacing you. The additional benefit that you get is that when you got one of your comrades out there screaming, it's very demoralizing, I assure you, on the rest of the troops. So this particularly hideous weapon was not just an innocent byproduct, it was by design. You realize that not only because of the tens of thousands of casualties in a country like Cambodia do you have a crippling effect, but you have these agrarian-based societies that need the land that have, as in Cambodia, you had 10 to 12 million landmines, denying the use of that land for what people need, which is the ability to recover and for agricultural purposes. You can't move around the country because of the contamination of land. And once we realized how overwhelming the problem was, and that it wasn't unique to Cambodia, but the same thing was playing out in Mozambique, Angola, Afghanistan, Iraq, Iran, El Salvador, Nicaragua, you name it. We said this is unacceptable. And we started a campaign to get rid of the 100 million landmines that are buried in these agrarian societies around the world, of the 200 million in stockpiles waiting to get in, to save tens of thousands of innocent lives that are taken every year because of this weapon. And that campaign, with the support of the UK and particularly organizations like the Mines Advisory Group here, did something that was pretty extraordinary. It galvanized the world community in an unprecedented way, and it led to people demanding their governments be responsive. And in 1997, we wound up bringing together an international treaty that today has 144 countries around the world committed to no longer using, to producing, to stockpiling, to selling, to helping the victims, and to cleaning the land of landmines. That's a hell of an accomplishment. Signatories to a piece of paper are not enough. We still have all of those lands out there that need to be cleaned up. We have all of those people that still need the services. And one last thing. When you provide services to somebody, and you give them an artificial limb or a wheelchair, You got to know. And once you've given them the gift of mobility, once you've changed their lives and given them the opportunity to get back and be productive within their society, you cannot break faith with those people. When that artificial limb is broken, when the wheelchair is broken, you have to be there to give them replacement parts. The children that learn the discipline of using their orthotic devices, they have to grow up maintaining the exercise and getting replacement devices, need you to be there when they come back. So this campaign is far from over. Commitments have been made. They've got to be respected. We need your support to honor them. So thank you again for coming. We're going to take a short break and come back and the rest of this.
And I'm going to do something sort of rare for me. It's called Sing a New Song. I was working on a record all this past winter and, writing stuff, trying to write, and pretty much thought I had the record done. It's kind of eking out in the songs. Then I got the news that June Carter Cash was gravely ill, and so I called Roseanne Cash, who was there at the hospital, and spoke to John, and a few hours later, this song just seemed to drift down from the cosmos through me, but I still have a sneaking suspicion that it was written by June. Anyway, this song is for her.
He was a tall man, raised up from the fields of Mexico, in a heartland where the ground was poor and the wood was rotten. And when he saw her, all those bad times were forgotten, and she These are the gifts they give free in shopping malls. This is a real life that's spread across the tunnel walls. You know your friends are. You know your friends are. And the ones who wanna see you go far. You know your friends are. Last time you tried to leave here for a working holiday, you said your mother needed you 2,000 miles away. But no sooner on the tarmac, you were meant to be told, but we've been waiting for you, you just can't leave the phone. You know your friends are. Stole the sofa from your party in space and burned it. You were hoping you could leave here with some teeth still in your head, but your friends on Curtain Road would rather see you dead. You know your friends are. You know your friends are.
Welcome to the anti-militarist tattoo. I guess that's who we are. When I was listening to Bob speak, I thought, well, that's who we are down here. We're the people who oppose militarism. We're the people who stand against that. Let them keep their jets and their damn fireworks. You know, we've got Chrissie Hynde, Joan Baez, Earle, Emmylou Harris.
This old town's filled with sin, it'll swallow you in. If you got some money to burn, take it home right away. You got 3 years to pay, but Satan is waiting his turn. This old earthquake's gonna leave me in the poor a gold-braided door. Keep out the Lord's burning rain. The scientists say it'll all wash away, but we don't believe anymore, 'cause we got our recruits and our green warrior suits, so we show your ID at the door. This old earthquake's gonna leave me in the poorhouse. It seems like this whole town's insane. On the 31st floor, the gold-plated door will keep out the Lord's burning rain. A friend came around, tried to clean up his town. His ideas made some people mad, but he trusted his crowd, so he spoke right out loud. And they lost the best friend they had. This old earthquake's gonna leave me in the courthouse. It seems like this whole town's insane. On the 31st floor, a gold-plated door will keep out the Lord's burning rain. On the 31st floor, a gold-plated door won't keep out the Lord's burning rain.
Now I'm going to use you, Billy Bragg. You're going to have to play on this. So back to Princess Street, which has apparently impressed me very much. We walked the whole length of it, and we were just about to the end many times, and we passed the statue, Sir Walter Scott. And she starts humming something. I think it's this unconscious thing. And I looked up at the statue and I said, he looks like Tim Hardin. For those of you who don't know, he was a songwriter before all of us. He was one of the greats. So we continued humming and we worked out this song, Reason to Believe.
If I listen long enough to you, I'd find a way to believe that it's all true. Knowing that you died straight-faced while I cried, still I'd look to find a reason to believe.
or right? This isn't my day job tonight, man. You know? I got sort of fascinated with the idea of duets that were written to be duets a few years back, and I've kind of written one for every record. And I wrote one for myself and Siobhan Kennedy, and I wrote one for myself and Lucinda, and I wrote one for myself and my sister, and Emmy was starting to get pissed. So.
Walking these streets and I'm counting my steps and I'm dragging my feet, 'cause I ain't ready yet to start over again, 'cause every time that I do, I remember you. Tonight, I'm just curious, that's all. Do you still have dreams? Did they all come true? Does it ever seem like you'll never make it through? And do you ever miss me the way that I do when I remember you? When I'm walking these streets,
You broke my
and my steps,
hero.
and dragging my feet.
Now I'm far off.
I don't lie awake at night, but every once in a while, right out of the blue, I remember you. I remember you.
Yeah, how did you know I was pissed? I never said anything. Well, you know, actually I was thinking we're up here talking about and trying to deal with the issue of landmines, and there was somebody from out your way that did a lot of work in that area. She was a gracious, brave, and wonderful woman who left this world way too soon. And of course I'm talking about Princess Diana, and we want to just say that we hope to be doing honor to her tonight. No matter how those people try to drag her down with all that trashy magazine, she'll always have class as far as I'm concerned.
English for you.
Thanks very much.
All right. All right. combination of reading a lot of Annie Dillard and going through menopause. Oh, the dragons are gonna fly tonight. They're circling low and inside tonight. It's another round in the losing fight. All along the great divide tonight. We are 80 soldiers in an ancient war, seeking out some half-remembered shore. We drink our fill and still we thirst for more. Asking if there's no heaven, what is this hunger for?
Sorry. Okay.
Our path is worn, our feet are poorly shod. We lift up our prayer against the odds, and fear the silence is the voice of God, of God, of God. And we cry, Hallelujah, Hallelujah. We cry, Hallelujah. Sorrow is constant, and the joys are brief. The seasons come and bring no sweet relief. Time is a brutal but careless thief, who takes our love but leaves behind the grief. It is the heart that kills us and leaves. Just one more broken bone that cannot mend. As it was now, never shall be. Amen. Amen. Amen.
that picked up a guitar in the 60s like I did and had a couple of Bob Dylan songbooks, Shirley wrote a song called Revolution. Anyway, this is my one.
When we watch the children play, remember when it was me and you, so far away. The things we got up to, the funfair of danger, that's what set us apart. We couldn't wait for the real world to test the strength of the lion's heart. And cats like me and you have got laws that they adhere to, laws outside the laws as laid down by those we don't subscribe to. The world is getting stranger, and we'll never lose heart. We can't just wait for the old God to die before we can make a new start. Bring on the revolution. I wanna die for something. Bring on the revolution. I wanna die for something. I wanna die for something. Bring on the revolution. I don't wanna die for nothing. Bring on the revolution. I wanna die for something. For every freedom fighter, I wanna hold on tighter to the hope in which you gave. You were the brave, you were the brave. And one day, when we hear the children sing, freedom will bring freedom. When we watch the children play, remember how the privileged classes grew. And from this day we set out to undo what won't undo, looking for the grand in the minute. Every breath justifies every step that we take to remove what the powers that be can prove. And the children will understand why. Bring on the revolution. I wanna die for something. Keep the pressure on. Bring on the revolution. I wanna die for something. Bring on the revolution. I don't wanna die for nothing. Bring on the revolution. I wanna die for something.
one of the things I thought to myself, I've got to be really careful tonight, because if I start just getting into this and really enjoying it and relaxing, I'll lose the edge. So I thought, well, I'll do is I'll play something I've never ever played before, that I've barely written as well. This we were talking to Steve yesterday, he was saying it's a difficult time to write and love songs, and I'm finding that one a bit difficult too, Steve. They keep popping out and they're a bit more charged, and this one actually has its roots in the Canadian folk festivals. I was talking to a guy who just recorded a great album of blues stuff. He was giving me a copy of it, and he said, we found this old guy. He's an old jazz player now. He plays a lot of jazz, but we got him in the studio and we only let him play slide. And I said, well, what was that about? He said, well, the thing is, he can't actually quite play slide. You know, he can't quite do it, and it's got such edge to it. It's got such, it's really kind of scary and edgy, and I thought to myself, I can't play slide quite slide. I wonder if I could do that kind of edgy, kind of weirdy kind of thing. So I am going to do something untoward with this here slide on my finger now. And the other thing was, someone at the festival was playing an old Leadbelly song called Bourgeois Blues, and I've always been a fan of Leadbelly, so I wrote some of these lyrics here at the hotel today, and I'm going to bash this one out. The boys in Iraq want to know what they're fighting for. It's George W. Bush re-election war. I've got the bourgeois blues. I got the bourgeois blues. I got the bourgeois blues. I'm gonna spread the news all around. Watch me now. You better be careful what you say. You don't want to end up in Guantanamo Bay. Oh Lord, I got the bourgeois blues. I got the bourgeois blues. I got the bourgeois blues. I want to spread the news all around. Out in the newfangled missiles, they ain't so smart. They capture women and children from a combat time. Oh Lord, I got the bourgeois blues. I got the bourgeois blues. I got the bourgeois blues. I'm gonna tear the news all around. Hey, the American people, it ain't no lie. Most of them voted for the other guy. I got the bourgeois blues. I got the bourgeois blues. Bourgeois blues. I got the bourgeois blues. I'm gonna spread the news all around. Watch me now. Let's get it, play. I might cut myself up. Last verse, here we go. He's got a cute little smile. He's got the curly hair. It's George Bush's poodle. Goddamn soul.
So they asked me, I said, well, what was Billy Bragg like? And I said, oh, he's an edgy son of a bitch.
Plays like Bonnie Bragg.
This is my song, thou God of all the nations, a song of peace for lands afar and mine. This is my home, the country where my heart is. Here are my hopes, my dreams, my holy shrine. But other hearts in other lands are beating with hopes and dreams as true and high as mine. My country's skies are bluer than the ocean, and sunlight beams on clover leaf and pine. But other lands have sunlight too, and clover, and skies are everywhere as blue as mine. Oh, hear my song, thou God of all the nations, a song of peace for their land and for mine.
This song a long time ago, and it's been really sort of interesting the way people interpret it. But it's this is what we're doing here tonight. It's about weapons. And, there are people in my country that say that they're very fond of saying that different types of weapons don't kill people. The people do. That is true. But there's like this particular case. I didn't think this song was at all. When I wrote this song, I thought it was just another, folk song about juvenile delinquents in the 19th century, which I was sort of into at the time. And besides, I'll play it, for that guy over there that kept on Copperhead Road, because it might be a substitute that keep him from beating his girlfriend up tonight. So.
About the time Daddy left to fight the big war, saw my first pistol in a general store, I was 13, thought it was the finest thing I ever had seen. After 5/11, son, when I grew up, Mama dropped a dozen eggs and really blew up, she really blew up. Didn't understand, my mama says a pistol is the devil's right hand. The devil's right hand, the devil's right hand. Mama says a pistol's the devil's right hand. My first pistol was a cap and ball coat. Shoot as fast as lightning, but you load 'em out slow. Well, she load 'em out slow. Soon I find out she gets you into trouble, but she can't get you out. Then I went and got myself a Colt 45. Called was a peacemaker, I never knew why. Never knew why. Didn't understand. Mama said the pistol is the devil's right hand. The devil's right hand. The devil's right hand. Mama says the pistol's the devil's right hand. The devil's right hand. The devil's right hand. Mama says the pistol is the devil's right hand. Well, got into a card game in a company town. Called my chief and I shot the dog down. I shot the dog down, watching that ball. Never touched his horse, never had a chance to draw. My trial was in the morning and they drug me out of bed. Asked me how I pleaded, not guilty. I said, not guilty. I said, got the wrong man. Nothing touched the trigger but the devil's right hand. Devil's right hand. Devil's right hand. Mama says the pistol is the devil's right hand. Devil's right hand. The devil's right hand. Nothing touched the trigger but the devil's right hand.
Special thanks for Emmylou.
One thing I've learned in the last few years is sometimes the way to, whenever you hear anybody tell you that's impossible, when situations in the world are pointed out to you as hopeless, that there was a time when I was growing up that nobody I knew believed that anything was hopeless, and nobody I knew believed that anything was impossible. And I think that's really kind of all the song is about.
sometimes the best thing to do is take the hardest thing first and sort that out. And when you can do that, the rest of it's gravy. Up this morning, none of the news was good, and death machines were rumbling across the ground where Jesus stood. And the man on my TV told me it'll always been that way. There's nothing anyone could do or say. I almost visited him. Yeah, I almost lost my mind. I regained my senses again and looked into my heart to find that I believe that one fine day all the children of Abraham will lay down their souls forever in Jerusalem. There'll be no wire walls. We can wash all this blood from our hands and all this hatred from our souls. But I believe it on that day. All the children of Abraham will lay down their souls forever in Jerusalem. Yeah, I believe it on that day. All the children